It has been a painful week for other reasons in the Forest Hills School District. A senior took his life Monday night. It is another tragic loss of life for the community. And as Cassie Arsenault shows us, it is taking a toll.
At least 5 young men ages 12 to 18 have lost their lives to suicide since 2018 in the Forest Hills School District. Tonight, a vigil as the community comes together to try to heal from the most recent loss. And we spoke to a mother who lost a son to suicide in this district, and she tells us about the lasting effects something like this has on the entire community. Dozens of people stand in the dark trying to make sense of the death of another young life. 9 minutes away, a mother knows this intense pain.
It's terrible. It's awful.
Tiffany KIMBLE doesn't like the spotlight. She doesn't want her son's story exploited. She just wants to save young lives.
I think the first thing we can do is recognize that it is an epidemic. Ben was, he was an amazing kid. We miss him very much.
To lose a child is a grief she can't explain, but what she wants to shout loud and clear is the system for kids to get help needs to change.
There are children and people struggling at this very moment in your community. I don't like to share, some of the personal things about my son Ben, but I can tell you this, that he told me, Mom, I think I have anxiety and depression.
Finding resources was timely, confusing, and exhausting. And Tiffany believes Ben didn't have the proper language to describe his invasive thoughts.
You're told to look for if your child, withdraws, or if they're not very social or they're not involved in a lot of activities. And, what I can say is that that's not what we're seeing in our area.
The Forest Hills community tries to heal, but with each death, the wound reopens. Tiffany carries her son's legacy by reaching out to families whose life is forever altered by a loss of a child.
We carpool them, we feed them, we celebrate their victories, and we share in the grief.
But to stem the tide, she says we all need to fight this fight.
We can't just talk about this when it happens. We have to have these discussions ongoing with our schools, with our healthcare providers. We have to demand more.
In Anderson Township, Cassie Arsenault, Local 12 News.
Big thank you to Kimberly for sharing that. In situations like this, the district utilizes the Traumatic Event Crisis Intervention Team. It includes support from district staff, school counselors, school psychologists, and other mental health professionals.